Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be talking about a beginner's guide to bass fishing, so stay tuned.
What's up, guys?
She take me out of my place, but I stay in my zone. Look me right in my face, she can see through my soul. I said don't think about it, I said don't think about it. She take me out of my place, but I stay in my zone. Look me right in my face, she can see through my soul. I said don't think about it, I said don't think about it.
So I guess the first thing you're gonna need is a rod. So, you know, in bass fishing there are thousands and thousands of baits, right? So you need, if you go on YouTube and look up a rod to throw a Senko, or a rod to throw a topwater lure, or a crankbait, you know, most of the time it's gonna be these pros that are talking about it, and they're gonna say, oh, I use this section for this type of lure, this height or this size of rod for this type of lure, and they're gonna be telling you that you need a like 10-pound line on a 7-foot rod, light action, and all this stuff, right? And the thing with them is that they have hundreds of rods available for them since they're pros, right? They're sponsored. You know, they have access to all these rods, right? But for us, that we just do some casual fishing, you know, just for fun. You know, some of us, we don't have that access to those rods or that money to get that, right? So I would recommend getting a rod that you could fish all around. So from weightless lures to jig heads that are on the heavier side, right? So in most of my videos, or a lot, when we go bass fishing, you'll see me using this rod. So this is my palo rod. This is my carnal. This is a medium heavy fast action. So this is gonna be a heavier rod. This is paired up with the 13 Fishing Origin A. This reel goes for about around 80 bucks. You can find it. So not that expensive of a setup. I believe, I don't think we make this rod anymore. So something similar to this would be the Addiction rod. Goes for about 280, I believe. I'll double check and I'll put it in the description, right? But you know, this is gonna be a pretty budget setup. It's gonna be a real good setup to start with. You're not gonna have any problems with this. I have this spooled up with a 30-pound Power Pro. Yeah. So it's a heavier line, but like I say, you're gonna be using this rod for almost any lure, right? So if y'all go back to my videos, this is a rod I use like 80% of the time. Now if you have the money, or you already have a lighter rod, I would recommend going with something kind of for a finesse rod. So as y'all can see, this is my Palo Custom. This would be similar to a Compadre. This is a 7-foot medium, moderate fast. As you can see, it has more how do you say, I don't know, wiggle than the other rod. So this I would use it more. Oh, sorry if my phone is moving. There's a lot of wind right now. But yeah, so this is the same rod I use for wade fishing or saltwater fishing. It's really light, and as y'all know, we throw AM lures, so those are pretty light lures. So you want something whippier so you can whip it out. So this rod, I would use it to throw something like a weightless Senko, you know, something finesse, a trick worm, something like that. So this is what I would use it. I got it paired up with the Nasty, or Nasty, I know some people call it like that, 2500, and I got it spooled up with 15-pound Power Pro. So this is what I would use kind of for my finesse rod. But like I said, you can also do the same things you do with this with the other rod. It would just help you get a little more casting distance on it, but you could get away with the other one. So like I said, if you only have money for one, I would recommend getting a heavier rod that's an all-around, something similar to that. But if you have the money, or you already have this rod available, I would recommend using it for bass fishing too. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the lures. Okay guys, so for bass fishing, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of lures and designs and colors and all that, right? But I'll try to break it down into mainly three basically sections, I guess you could say, right? So you have the top water, the mid section, and the lower column of the water, right? So for top water, of course, you will have your top waters, your buzz baits. That's pretty much it. And there are other your whopper ploppers and other type of top waters, right? But that's basically it. Then for your mid water, you would have your, there's a lot for that. It would be your crankbaits, your lipless crankbaits, your spinning, your chatterbaits, swim baits, swimming jigs, and all that. And I'll show y'all some of those in a minute. So, but I just want to break it down. And for your bottom column, you would have your jig heads. I mean, sorry, your jigs, your punching jigs, and maybe swimming jigs. You could use it too. Your creature baits and stick baits. So that would be like senkos, trick worms, you know, stuff like that. So let me pull them out real quick so y'all can see how they look. Okay guys, so these would be your top waters. So as you can see, these are pretty similar. They are a little bit different. As you can see, this one is kind of round on both sides. This one has a bit of a mouth, I guess you could call it. So these would be your typical top waters. Of course, as the name says, they're going to be on the top of the water. This would be, you would want to throw it when the water's calm, when there's not much wind, either early morning or when the sun's going down. That's when fish are more attracted to it. So these are gonna have different actions. So this one, as you walk it, you're gonna want to be like kind of popping the rod and reeling it in slowly. And what this is gonna do is gonna basically move it like this. So it's gonna go side to side. So it's gonna mimic kind of like a injured fish that's just almost dying, right, on the top water. So it's just gonna be moving side to side, side to side. This technique is called walking the dog. And like I said, it's just gonna be going side to side. It has rattles in it, so it's gonna be causing a lot of commotion, a lot of noise. And it's a pretty, when you get a bite on it, it's gonna be freaking cool because you're gonna see that blow up. So for this one is gonna be a little bit different. Again, it's also gonna be in the top water, but this one you're just gonna be kind of popping it. If you do saltwater fishing, it's gonna be kind of like a popping cork, but not as aggressive. You're just gonna want to pop it a little bit, and that mouth is gonna disperse a lot of water, causing a lot of commotion. Again, it has some rattles in it, and it's gonna be pretty much the same thing. It's gonna kind of act as an injured bait fish, and you know, big bass are attracted to it. So, and again, you're gonna get that big blow up when you do get a bite. The other type of top water that I want to talk about is the buzz bait. So I don't have one right now, but it basically looks kind of like a big spinner bait. And if y'all don't know I'll put a picture of it somewhere around. But it basically has a jig head in the bottom, and it's attached to a wire to a big blade that spins. So what you basically do, you cast it out, you straight retrieve. Same thing, you would want to throw it when it's when the water's calm, early morning or late in the afternoon when the sun's setting already. And you just want to straight retrieve it, and that blade's gonna be causing a lot of commotion on the top of the water. And same thing, it's just gonna be causing the fish to be attracted to it. The chatterbait is gonna cause two types of strikes. So one is gonna be just the reaction strike, which is where when the fish see the lure and they just think, you know, that's a bait fish, I gotta eat it, right? Easy snack, whatever, right? They go and get it. And the other one is you kind of annoy them by the noise, right? So you want to cast it, you know, you retrieve it, and that thing's gonna it makes a lot of noise. You can hear it. It's called a buzz bait because you kind of hear that buzzing when it's coming across the water. So you cast it out, straight retrieve, and that fish see it, right? They notice it. If you throw it again in the same place for a couple times, that fish is gonna get annoyed by it, and they're basically gonna go up and just eat it because they're annoyed by it. They don't want it there anymore. And like I said, that's, you know, the blow up on top waters are awesome, right? So there's many more top water lures, but those are the main ones, I would say. So now let's get into the mid water. Okay guys, so like I said, your mid column lures are gonna be, you know, there's many. There's your crankbaits, lipless crankbaits, spinner baits, swim baits. So I guess I'll just leave it at that because, like I said, I haven't said it, but I don't want to confuse y'all and throw too much information at you. So we'll just leave it at that. At the end, I will be recommending just a couple lures so you don't have to go out and get a lot. So make sure to watch till the end so you can get to that. So this will be your crankbait. Of course, it's missing a hook here. It's a pretty old one. I don't even think it's mine, but I have it in my box. So this would be a square bill crankbait. So of course square bill because of the bill in front. So this you would want to throw it when you're fishing around logs, like big logs, not branches, because with these hooks you're gonna get tangled up. So you want to throw it around logs, rocks. Basically that's it. So what this is gonna do, it's gonna be swimming, and this bill is actually gonna hit against that log or those rocks, and it's gonna be basically like digging up, and it's gonna be bumping, creating noise. It has rattles in it too, so it's gonna be causing a lot of commotion. So this is a good one when you're fishing around rocks or big logs. The other ones would be your swim baits. So here I have a couple. I have this one. As course you can see, it kind of mimics a bluegill. This one, again, you don't want to throw it where there's grass or branches because it'll get tangled up, and some of these can get pretty expensive. This one I believe was like $7-8, and it's on the cheaper side of these live target kind of swim baits. There's some that can go up to like $50, and of course you don't want to be losing those because it's going to cost you a lot of money. So this one you just want to be throwing it maybe when the bass are spawning around their beds, because they're gonna think there's a bluegill coming for their eggs, so they're gonna get pretty aggressive with it. Another one, this is one of my favorites, the spinner bait. So as y'all can see, it has this big skirt, has the blades. So this you would want to throw it, you can basically throw this whenever you want. This you would rather want to throw it when it's sunny outside, because these blades are going to reflect the sun, and it's going to be causing that kind of flash in the water. And the skirt is supposed to mimic a fish, right? You're supposed to match the hatch. Of course, it's a wide one. And this one's you can throw it, you can retrieve it, just a straight retrieve. Like I said, these these blades are going to cause a lot of commotion, a lot of they're going to cause that shine on the water. Also, you can kind of, there's many retrieves for this. You can kind of retrieve it, then pause it and just let it sink a little bit, then retrieve it, then pause it, and it's just gonna cause that type of action where it's gonna kind of like an injured bait fish. So it's gonna go, it's gonna swim, then it's just gonna drop, and then it's gonna go drop. Basically with these, you just want to try a bunch of retreats, slow, fast, medium. Like I said, stop and go. You just figure out what the fish are biting. The good thing about this is that, as you can see, the hook is facing up, so it's not gonna get hung up in a lot of stuff because it's just gonna go over it. So like I said, this is a really good bait. If you want to cover a lot of water, this is a pretty good bait because, like I said, you can throw it almost anywhere where there's grass, branches, logs, rocks, you know, anything. So this is one of my favorites. And so now let's get into swimming jigs. So this is kind of like a spinner bait without the blade, sorry. As you can see, it has kind of like that jig head, realistic jig head on it. And then here I have a little, it was a curly tail, but I guess it broke off. But basically this is gonna be the same thing. This is gonna be a little bit lower on the column, on the middle column. Same thing, you can fish it. This you can kind of fish it in the lower or in the mid. If you want to fish it in the mid, you would just have to reel it in and just pop it. If you want some more action, you can put a swim bait on it. But yeah, this is a really versatile bait. You can throw it anywhere. As you can see, it has this little grass cover, so it doesn't get hung up on a lot of stuff, and the hook's facing up, so it's a really good bait. And finally, let's get to the bottom of the water column. So of course you got this. This is really useful for when you want to throw it in branches. This, you can throw it in branches and won't get hung up. You can throw it in grass, anything. This is my personal favorite because, like I said, you can use it anywhere. So you can literally be throwing it in branches, cover, grass, anything, and then just switch up and throw it out in open water and just reel it back in. And like I said, that swim bait in the back is gonna cause a lot of motion. So yeah, this is one of them. The other one would be creature baits. So by creature baits, I mean something like this. So this is the Guggen squat. I believe I forgot what the name of it is, but as you can see, it kind of has like a crawfish kind of pinchers on the bottom or the top, depending how you're looking at it, and it kind of has these feet. So this is just gonna mimic something like an insect, like a lizard maybe, you know, something like that. And this, you would just want to fish it at the bottom. There's two ways of fishing this. So you can fish it either just like that, weightless, or you can add a weight and fish it Texas rig. I rather fish a Texas rig just because it kind of keeps it down. It kind of gives it that action, like if it was eating something, you know, fish just come slurp it up on the back. Really good bait. And the other would be, okay, so this would be kind of more finesse. This would be more of a finesse kind of deal. As y'all can see, it has this head, this jig head, and it has this weed cover so it doesn't get hung up on stuff in that hook. And you can throw it out, and this you can kind of fish. So what this head is gonna do is gonna keep it like this. So it's gonna be kind of bobbing up and down. The fish are gonna see this tail. So the fish are gonna get attracted by this tail. They're gonna think it's some kind of worm or something, and they're just gonna eat it up. So that's kind of for the bottom column of the water. So as far as color goes, like I said, I'm no pro. We just go out there and try out different stuff, right? Like in Delta Lake, that's where we like to fish a lot. Of course, a bunch of our videos are made there. We know that they bite a lot on black and blue jigs or spinning baits, right? Spinner baits, sorry. So that's what we know that's gonna work. But sometimes they're not. So we go out there and maybe we'd start with the black and blue, right? And then if we don't get any bites, we switch to another color. And that's basically what we do, right? Like, I don't think there's a certain day or a certain place where fish are always going to be biting on the same stuff. So what I would recommend for y'all, I know some of y'all have been texting me and asking like, how do you choose a color for this type of water or this type of water, right? I would say for like dark water, for cloudy water, muddy water, whatever you want to call it, I would either use a really dark color such as a black, a blue, a dark blue. So for example, something like this. Or something really bright. So like I said, if you're fishing in muddy waters and dark brown water, you want something that stands out. So either a really, really dark color or a bright color such as a white, a chartreuse, something like that, right? But other than that, we just go out there and try different stuff. It's just like in saltwater fishing, wade fishing, you know, you go out there and sometimes they'll be biting on a white color, right? And then the next day you go, you can throw that white color all day and you won't get a bite. But you switch to a brown color, and all of a sudden you start getting lots of fish, right? Or there's sometimes where they'll just bite anything that swims, right? So you just want to try different stuff. If you want more details or more information about that, I guess you could look it up. But like I said, I don't really have a kind of guide that says that when the color of the water is, when the color is this color, when the water is this color, you should throw this color lure, or when, you know, stuff like that. So okay, so now I said that I would recommend 4 lures. So it's 3, sorry. So if you're gonna go to the store and you just want to get maybe 3 to 4 lures to start with. Of course, you're gonna have your rods. So first, let's start at the top. So top water, Spook Junior. This is what I would recommend. I would recommend this color. Pretty nice. It has a wide belly, kind of silverish, with like a dark gray on top. But of course, the fish are only seeing this part. So I would get this. For the middle column of the water, I would 100% go with a spinnerbait. So like I said, you might want to get two, maybe a white one and a blue one, like a dark blue one, just so you have some variety on it. So this is what I would go with. Just like I said, this is very versatile. You can throw it in many situations wherever you want. So this is what I would go with. Like I said, a bright color and a dark color. And finally, for the bottom column, I would get a jig head, or a jig, sorry, swimming jig. So like I said, this you can throw it. You can straight retrieve it. It'll get that action from the tail. You can punch with it. So what punching is basically when there's vegetation on the top, and you throw that lure on top of the vegetation, and it goes through the vegetation. Because sometimes the fish are hiding under there to get that. That shading from the plants, so they like hiding under there. So I would highly recommend one of these. So again, I would recommend a, let's see if I have a, so here we go. Here I have a white one here, and I would go with this one and with the black and blue one I have on my rod. So like I said again, so you can have variety in color. So that's what I would go with, I would say. Of course, like I said, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lures. Oh, also, I would get a pack of creature baits. So these are my favorite right now, creature baits. They're the Googan bait, crack and crawl. Let me open it up so you can see how they look. I don't know if y'all can see it through there, but it's just basically like a tube, and it opens up to have like claws. This is my personal favorite right now, creature bait. I love to fish it, Texas rig. If y'all don't know how to Texas rig, just look it up on YouTube. There's hundreds of videos on that. So that's what I would recommend. So with topwater, Spook Junior. For mid column, I would go with spinner bait, and for the bottom, I would go with the jig and the creature bait. So that's what I would go with. So like I said, these are just my personal tips. Like I said, I'm no pro or anything. If you know more about fishing, you're more experienced, let us know some tips in the bottom in the comments. What you like to use. If you have a certain guide on what color to use on certain days and certain color of the water, let us know too. If I missed anything that you want to know, again, leave it down in the comments. I answer every comment, so I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, anything else you have that you want to just let it out, or just ask for tips or anything, or if I missed anything you wanted to see, let me know down in the comments. This was just a pretty quick video. Just wanted to get it out because I know it's been a requested video. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you learned something from it. I hope I helped you guys. So yeah, guys, this is gonna be it. Like I said, if you have any concerns, see them down in the comments, and see you in the next one.